Hello and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. Another episode of Char Mike keeping it real. I have some special guests on the show. Roxy, Dangerous D, welcome.
Hey.
First time for Dangerous D. So yeah, we got a nice juicy subject. What's the topic today, Charlotte?
Okay, well, thank you for having me on as always. You know, your co-host. Today the topic is: do men cheat more, or are women just better at hiding it? So this is gonna get saucy. So today this is our topic. So, okay, where do I start? It's quite a complex topic, but also it can be very generalized as well. So, personally, there's always been that stigma that men do cheat more, don't they? However, it's not entirely true. You know, women are up in their game. You know? It's just the tools that they use and the strategies that they use. And I think because men get caught out so easily, I think it's deemed upon that men cheat more. So that's just a highlight of my thoughts. But today we're going to start with Mike. You know, what is your thoughts on the topic? Do men cheat more, or are women better at hiding it?
I got to be honest. When I think about it, my experiences, and you know, going back to when I was single and I was single and free and enjoying my life in that regards of just dating women and what in, you know, whether they were serious relationships or just for fun. I think it's even. What about that? I think in my mind, I think it's even. I think there's just as many men cheat as there are women, but I think women are smarter about how they and when they cheat. I think men we get complacent. We get caught up in our own ego, and that's where we get caught out, because we become full of ourselves and overconfident. And that's when women can see that, you know, you're not being honest with me. I can tell that, and look at patterns, you know, where we're not looking at that because we're just going with the flow and enjoying ourselves. A woman can see the patterns where that's not consistent. He said he's doing that with his friend, but then I checked with his friend, he wasn't there. And then he said he's trying to, I said, we kept on getting caught out. So we get caught up in the ego. I think that's our worst thing. And women are just, and I think women can be more wicked with it. So when they cheat, they do it in a way that you get burnt, man. You feel it. So a man feels it when a woman cheats on him, you know. Where women, I feel they can see it coming, and their instincts, they can pick up vibes of men of how much they're into a relationship or how much they're into them. So I think that's the difference with us in just our makeup, in kind of how we are. We get really absorbed by our ego. And I think women can just be like, right, okay, he's not into me. So yeah, this other guy's showing me interest. I can go with him and he will never know, but I'll show. And one time I'll drop a little hint that I am sleeping with someone else, and just for him to feel it. So yeah, I think that it's just how we are as human beings. So the makeup of us. But yeah, men get sloppy. We get caught up and we get carried away with it all. The ego takes us away and we think, you know, we're God's gift. And then, you know, we make these mistakes and leave a trail like breadcrumbs. You know, you can see the mess that we're leaving behind, and just pick it up. And then we get caught out. And then there's the other side as well. Some men do it to get out of a relationship.
Yes, that's so
yeah.
Some men are too weak to be honest to their partners and say, this ain't happening. So then they do the easy thing of being sloppy, so they get found out, and it's kind of like, well, she's gonna end it, because most women are. Don't get me wrong, some women are like, you know what, let's get past it. But most women will end it because of the pain and feel like, look, you don't value me. So it's sometimes their way of getting out of a relationship as well.
But then it becomes a shock to the man's system. Like any man that is too weak to be honest to leave the relationship, if they purposely, you know, cheat and they get caught out in the hope that their partner might leave them. They'll have a good old shock if the partner says, "Do you know what? I'm angry. I'm upset at what you've done, but I'm willing to give it another go."
Yeah, I know. What do you do then? You just keep cheating and hoping that one day she leaves?
Yeah. I to be honest, I think they would then just say, look, this ain't happening, because it's like, you know, somewhere down the line they'll be like, look, I just want to end this, man. This ain't working, man. So, but some people do that, and you know, I've been there myself. I've been there myself in the early days. I remember early 20s and stuff, trying to break up relationships, and it just couldn't face the woman to say, you know what, this is over. So I've been there. I get that mindset. And it's a sense of maturity, isn't it? And you becoming, you know, a real adult and really grown up and mature to be able to have these conversations, because they're not easy, whether you're into the person or not. You still have feelings, and hurting someone's feelings when they're really into you or what have you is still difficult.
Yeah, and that's a fair, you know, that's a fair statement. I mean, I'm gonna, Roxy, pretty lady, email, you know, because we got to balance this right out, you know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But you know, after hearing what Mike said, it makes sense. Like, it is a bit of 50-50, but my thing is, I think I can't just say with women, it's also down to the lack in the relationship. A lot of people cheat because there's something lacking in the relationship. They're not
100%.
getting the attention, they're not being heard, and then someone else comes along and gives them. So sometimes cheating isn't like a malicious thing. But I would say that, I don't care, this is true, women are good at it, because we had a sneaky, like I was saying before this, when women be talking on the phone loads, a man will assume, oh, she's just talking to her girls, as always. When they're always going out with their girls, saying I'm going shopping and stuff, he will know none the wiser. Like Mikey said, if a guy, his ego takes over, he gets sloppy. Women, we plan. We are very
Thank you.
So we would be like proper on this, like cleaning up any mess, making sure there's no breadcrumbs, like you said. We ain't leaving no trails. And if she gets caught, that's because her ego got the better of her and she got sloppy. Or like you're saying, it's because she wanted to hurt him. She wanted to get caught. Like,
I think if a woman, sorry to
no, that's all right.
Also, if a woman then starts getting feelings for the other guy,
yeah, that's another thing.
they can slip
That's
up,
another thing.
you know, because, you know, it's so easy when, you know, if you're cheating on your partner with another man, and then you then start getting attached to them, then your starts going all over the place, and then you said then we will, you know, you can slip up even more because our attitude will change towards our current partner because we're now having more feelings for someone else.
But it's worse when you start catching the feelings and then that person don't even have feelings for you. So imagine your partner really was invested in you, loved you, but he wasn't the man that you needed to be. And like, it goes to all of our past talks about the conditioning, him not knowing about love and all these things. So he doesn't know how to be in a relationship. You're not aware of his story or how he's really feeling. Then you go and cheat on him. But then the guy you're cheating don't want nothing to do with you. He just sees you as that booty call and that's it. And you now want more because you thought the grass was greener on the other side, but it wasn't.
No, it's true. And what about you, Dangerous D?
So literally, I think Mike and Roxy have literally brushed up on, you know, a lot of what I was gonna say. I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but I've had it done to me. I've had previous partners cheated on me. Like I'd say probably at least twice that I know of. And you know, from every relationship, I like to kind of like, you know, I like to heal. I like to kind of evaluate what went wrong, what was good, and, you know, see what I can do better, you know, in the next relationship. Now, in my experience, you know, I'm talking on I want to talk about on the other side as well, where I've been that guy to one of my friends that has been cheating. I'm not going to disclose names. And it's just like, guys are very, 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 very sloppy with it. I don't think people realize how hard it is, especially for a man, for him to manage more than one woman.
Yeah.
Because for you to live, because you're almost like, it's almost like you're double, I'll equate it to being like a spy, like being a double agent. So you got this life, you got that life, and you got a next life. You know, it's, if you, to manage one relationship is enough, you know, there's enough kind of, you know, how should I say, stress or emotions and hard work to, you know, make one relationship work, let alone you trying to go and do this on the side, that on the side. And, you know, and I think what it boils down to as well is, a lot of men are, you know, driven by their ego when they're doing it. You know, it doesn't have to, I think the difference between men and women when it comes to cheating is it's not always a lack in the relationship. I mean, some men are just driven by their ego. It's just like, you know, I'll cheat because this girl's fire and I want to see if I still got it. Or, you know what? My girl, she got into an argument with me. Bunner, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to do me. You know, there's multiple reasons why men cheat. But yeah, the biggest mistake that men do is literally, you don't cover your tracks. You don't cover your bases. Like, you'll be like, okay, I cheated on Sherelle with Brandy last night. And I said I was at this place. But meanwhile, you haven't clued your boys into where you were. So then, you know, and the mistake is if your girl knows your boys, you don't think your girl's gonna ask your boy, it's just a random conversation. Oh yeah, where was Darren last night? Like, he said that he was at the pool club with you. And then your boy is just like, nah, I didn't actually see him yesterday, you know, too tough. I ain't seen him for a couple of days. That's the start of it. That's the red flag. And you see, and the thing is, women have, they you know, credit, I'll credit women a lot because, you know, us men, we don't give women enough credit when it comes to that almost sixth sense when they know, like, something's up. Like, you guys can, it's like you smell it, you can taste it, it's in the air. It's like, you're not, like, you know, and the thing is, men, you have to be consistent. Whatever you do in your relationship, be consistent with it. Because your woman will pick up the certain stuff that you were doing at the beginning of the relationship that you're not doing like 3 or 4 months down the line. You don't think your woman's noticing it, and you think she's not putting you up on it. And if you continuously like just stop doing these things and you're not making no effort to kind of think, then that kind of leads to the fact that you may be dipping out on the relationship anyway. And I'm not gonna lie, most of the time when women do suspect that a man is stepping out, I'm not going to say all the time because I'm not going to say all men cheat, but a lot of the time when they are suspecting something's up, men are doing something. There's something that's going on, you know? Now, women, when they're cheating, now I've seen it. I've actually seen it with my past relationships. My ex-partner's come up and told me that her girls have flat out come up and told her, look, if you want to do this thing with this next guy, and this particular guy was someone that I knew, someone from my workplace. So my ex-partner, she was out on a night out and she got a bit wild and she came back. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I did sense it. I did sense something come up because she was a bit distant. Her body language was a bit distant, you know, when she came back. And then the following day, that's when she admitted that she did something. So, but she had also she confessed to it. I didn't interrogate her. She confessed it to me. But she had shown me texts and messages and told me about her friend saying, look, if you want to do something with this guy, I want to support you. I'll lie for you. Your other half doesn't have to know. Daniel doesn't know. Have to know. You see? So again, girls, when it comes to that girl code, you know, girls will tag in the girls. You know, and they'll be and I think that girls do that more than guys do, because a lot of guys don't want to involve their brethren in it unless it's that absolute last resort. But it's just like, no, I'll keep it in house. I can do this. My boys don't have to be involved. You know,
a sisterhood.
A sisterhood of cheating. So it's not just your girl cheating. It's your girl's best friend. It's the girl's cousin. It's the girl's sister. Yeah, they're all involved. They're all complicit, guilty by association.
Hold tight.
Because you know another thing is girls like to judge their boyfriend's actions based by the company he keeps when he's out. So like, if you're going out, you mentioned this bedroom. I'm sure there's a lot of women that have done it. Be like, oh, you're going out with him? Nah, man, he's like a scrub. Like, he don't even, like, he's got like 3-4 baby mamas. Oh, he's out every week. He's with a different girl. So it's like, literally, if he's doing it, if he's doing all this madness, you must be doing it as well. So you're,
yeah, because that friend will influence that you. Yeah. That's the problem. The friend is the influencer. That's why we don't trust a friend, because we know the friend will be out there saying to you, oh, look at that girl, she's nice, isn't it? What do you think? And then you, like a guy, will forget yourself and be like, yeah, she's nice still. And then you'll be like, you should go talk to her. And that's how it starts.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, with women as well, we are natural born detectives. You know, as you have that sixth sense.
The FBI ain't got nothing on the female.
We will watch.
The FBI ain't got nothing. The FBI, CIA, MI5, MI6, they ain't got nothing on you.
We should run them joints.
I'm telling you.
1 second, please. So, with women, we're natural born detectives, okay? So we have that sixth sense. We will see everything about you, and we know your next move before you've even done it. You know, we just tend to know. If when you're in a relationship, we'll automatically see your pattern. You know, from when you're going to work, when you're coming home, when you're messaging, how you are when you're out with your friends. Do you message? Do you call? Things like that. So then when we do see something that is different, we might think, oh, it could be, you know, something simple at first, but then when it becomes continuous, that's when we know, okay, you know what, something came up, and that's when we will just kind of, it's like our detective hat just comes on even more. It's just like we just kind of like straighten it up and say, right, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, some women will automatically outright say, you're up to something, I know you are, but then there are some women that are smarter and won't even let you know at the time. They know you're cheating on them. They will get you a different way, you know, and then when they do get you, they get you a lot harder, you know, and they're wicked with it.
Hell hath no fury than a woman scorns. That Asian phrase.
Let's get as well, even though women, you know, have that sisterhood, don't get it twisted. There are male friends that will have, they'll have their females back. You know, if you've got a good, if you've got a best male friend and you say, oh, guess what, I've just cheated, blah, 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 they will disagree with you, but they'll still have your back. Because if you've got a good, strong relationship, and vice versa, if a man is cheating on a woman and his best female friend finds out, even if she says, you know, you're out of order, she can sometimes lie for them too.
Yeah.
So it's about sisterhood. It's not just about brotherhood.
It's the friendship.
It's the friendships, yeah.
Because you're always going to protect your friend. And the point you made, it was really good, Charlotte, as well, about being the detective. But what I started to notice, because I've got friends who also have been cheated on, I think it's a different generation we're in, where like now both parties are more invested in their relationships. So sometimes, like you said as well, dangerously, like men do also have that sixth sense, because they start to notice their woman's pattern, especially if you're heavily invested in this woman and you really dote on her. You see like how she moves every day. So when she starts moving differently, you're like, hang on again. But then some men do use that in a way to cheat, like women do. They analyze our movements and they're like, okay, she goes out at this time, so she'll be back at this time. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I say this day and age is different. Everyone moves differently. 100%.
What about you, Mike? Have you got anything more that you think?
I'm just gonna say about this day and age is I can imagine growing up in this the world we live in today, because like temptation, options, and being single, and kind of, and even in relationships, because you're exposed to so much. And you know, like, you know, what as men, we're easily distracted, we're easily tempted. So seeing all these options and, you know, social media and how easy it is to connect with people, and that wasn't around when I was growing up. So imagine when I was going through my spell when I was single and free and kind of doing whatever I wanted. if that was all available, it would have been crazy. Like, you know, it would have been this other world, like being able to connect with so many people, even from all over the world, so easily. It's just at your fingertips just to connect with someone, message someone, you know, abroad or, you know, around the UK or whatever. So it must be hard to stay true to yourself and really be committed growing up in this environment and not listen to this noise, the outside noise of, oh yeah, your woman should look like this. You should be dating this type of woman. They should be dressed this way. They should be hanging with this crowd because they're the cool crowd. So everything's amplified. Everything's a lot bigger, and you there's so much to it. It seems because for me, when I was growing up, my world didn't feel as big. It was a small world. This group of friends. It was very tight as well. So now it seems like this huge open world where, you know, there's so much temptation. There's so many options. You know, so yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine how difficult that must make. And I hear it from my friends who are single, how difficult it is to date.
Yeah.
For people to be really honest and be true to themselves and be committed even. You know, and yeah, so that's what I thought of when he talked about that. And yeah, I totally agree. But going back to men and their egos and kind of our environments that we're in and our friendship circles, is there's almost a pressure, society and the environments you grew up in, for men to behave a certain way anyway.
Yeah.
They're almost expected to be womanizers and have more than one woman, and that's kind of that's when I was growing up as a youngster in London, in West London, that was seen as being cool. Is having these options. Is dating a woman in North or South or West, or East. You know, having women, you know, all around London was seen as a cool thing. It was, oh man, have you seen that go up there? And you see what I mean? People look up to that. You know, being a gallist, being someone who's good with, you know, who's good around women and can attract women. It's you know, you felt like you were, you know, a cool guy, you know, someone who was looked up upon, and you know, a role model in regards. See how twisted it is, where it's that's a great thing when it's not really. What's great with that? You know, the challenge is trying to be with one woman and being in a committed, healthy relationship. That's a bigger thing. But back then, that's seen as the goal, to be able to do whatever you want when you want, and you know, not being tied down to one. So it's all a learning curve, ain't it? Because I see it as a sign of maturity, where you can be honest. Because for me, there's nothing wrong with having different partners. It's being honest to the people that you're with and you're dealing with, and that's my problem, is the dishonesty.
Yes.
You know, because even if I was, you know, they say player, but I don't look at it that way. I say it as having people, or having link ups or hookups, but you're not playing anyone, because they're all aware of the situation.
All aware of the situation, so they have a choice.
There you go. And that's my problem with the whole deceiving, and I don't like that. I don't like dealing on that level, because like Daniel, I've been cheated on. So being on the other end of that, the deception and finding out the hard way and the heartbreak, especially when you invest in your time into a relationship, you know, that's very difficult to get over, and you carry that into your other relationships, and until you work on that healing, you know, it's like grieving, isn't it? When you lose someone or break up a relationship, you have to deal with that loss. So I'm not for the deception side. That's what I mean about the whole cheating thing. I'm not in it. I'm more about just being, you know, honest to people and say, look, I'm not looking for a, and I've had women say this to me. I've had women being honest, and those are the type of women I like, are just like, look, I'm not looking for a relationship, Mike. I do not see you as a boyfriend. But if you want to hook up, then we can do it. But I don't want anything from this other than that. So, and I respect that. I'm just like, yeah, good, because we know where we stand here.
Yeah.
You know? And don't get me wrong, it is tricky anyway, because you know that sex as an act is emotional, and emotions are there, and energy is transferred within that, and it's an act of intimacy. So that's almost lying to ourselves anyway, that someone along the way isn't going to catch feelings. So you know, because of the whole, you know, it's not, you can't just be emotionless, as much as us men want to be like that. and be like, oh yeah, there's no feeling to it, we can catch feelings as well. So yeah, it's a tricky business, but I just say honesty, people be true to themselves and tell people from the get-go what the situation is. Don't change it halfway through the relationship or make out like it was like that all along, even though you never communicated it.
And I
No,
think
I 100% agree with that.
I think as well is when you go into a relationship, into a new relationship, you have to be sure of where you are within yourself. Because if you don't know where you are, then that relationship, has only got a 50-50% chance of working, and yes, also we do know that sometimes we can be out and not looking, and then bang, we meet somebody that we wouldn't have thought we was going to meet, and then we fall into it. But I do believe that any relationship that you're in, when you come out of it, you have to give yourself time to heal, because if you don't, you're going to carry that same baggage, them same insecurities, especially if you've been cheated on, into the next relationship. I've done that. I've done that many years ago when I was cheated on, and because I didn't heal and I went straight into a new relationship, it didn't work out because I was carrying a lot of, trauma and hurt and upset, so it's like you kind of like subconsciously projecting that and fear that that person's going to do the same, but I definitely think that, I mean, we're all healing. Everybody's healing in some way or shape or another in life. No one could say they're fully healed. You're not, because even if you feel that you are, a curveball will be thrown at you and you're going to have to learn to heal from something. But when it comes to dating, you have to heal. I think it's very important. You have to heal from your past relationship, and the communication is very important. So when you do get with somebody, when you do, share about your previous relationships, you have to be honest and say, you know what, I'm still healing from this. So what speed to go at, or if you want to invest in that relationship, invest your time and energy. So that communication and understanding as well that, in a real relationship, you're going to have ups and downs. It's not, looks like it's not Romeo and Juliet. There's going to be ups and downs, and at times people are going to think that the grass is greener on the other side, but it's not. It truly isn't. And my true belief is that if you want to cheat, I'd rather you end it and tell me, do you know what? At the end of the day, I see it as that if you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship because you want to be with that person. If you want to play around, do the decent thing and stay single. And let them know, because you're not hurting them. Do you know what I mean? Because a relationship is a commitment, and people have feelings. They put time and energy and so much, and once your heart gets involved, even it's harder. So that's my thoughts, really.
No, and I totally agree with both of you, and I think you lot touched on a lot of amazing points. And like hearing you guys say, I think it's like you lot are saying, it's the pressure of today's society. And like Mike said, I sympathize with these kids that are growing up in this new generation, because I think they use this word body count, like what's your body count? And I think in that it evaluates you as a man, and then as a woman, if your body count's too high, they want to call you all these kind of names that devalue you. And I know people that use the whole, if a man is attracted to me, or if a woman is attracted to a man, to validate themselves. If no one's attracted to you in that way, you don't feel beautiful, you don't feel handsome, you don't feel like you're sexy. So when people are chasing after you, that is making you feel like self-worth, and that's the ego as well. And I think this is what people need to understand and really separate themselves from that. You need to know your own worth. Like, you're beautiful in your way because you're beautiful. Other people can't make you feel beautiful, only you, because if you already have that insecurity, you're going to keep chasing these things and never knowing your worth, and you're going to keep hurting everyone around you as well as yourself. And it's just a dangerous game to play. And we've all said that we've been cheated on as well, and carrying that insecurity into other relationships, what you then do is then you expect your partner to constantly tell you you're beautiful, tell you all these things to make you feel great about yourself. And then when they don't, you think they don't value you. And then you go and try find it elsewhere. And that's where all of that mess also starts as well. Because like Charlotte's always saying, it's important to know who you are and get clear on what you want in a relationship. And I say to people, what you want from a relationship, that person has to be willing to do and give it to you. And what they want is something you have to do and be willing to give to them. It's a two-way street.
And I think it's important as well when you're in a relationship to check in with each other in your relationship. Sit down conversation, like how do you think how do you think our relationship is progressing? You know, are you happy with how things are right now? Is there anything that you think we should improve on? You know, we lacking in some areas. I think it's good to, a lot of people may not have them conversations until they've done something wrong or there's an argument, you know. But I think, you know, we should normalize having that check-in, you know, in your relationship when things are healthy. Do you know what I mean? And you've got that time and space to be completely honest and transparent and share your thoughts, because a lot of people, if they're not happy, they will hold it and hold it and hold it. Women, and then boom, everything will come out. You know, or men might just detach themselves from the woman and be doing their own thing, not paying the woman any attention, and then an argument will happen, then it will come out. And I think that normalizing having, you know, conversations, you know, regularly with your partner, I think is healthy. I think it is. Because you don't want to hold on to any negative energy for too long, because then that could ruin the relationship itself.
Definitely.
That's what I believe, and I believe that it is important. You know, speak your truth. You know, if you can't be truthful to yourself, you're not going to be truthful in your relationship.
And it's important to, like you're saying, create a vulnerable space for each other, like you're saying. I think that's the key thing, is being able to be vulnerable in front of your partner and know that your partner's got you.
No, it's true, and a lot of people don't like to be vulnerable. You know, and especially if you've been hurt in the past. It's like really happy in your relationship, but you still may keep a bit of your guard up because of that. You know, and I think it's only through time and trust, building trust and everything, that, you know, the guard will drop, you know, that bit more. But that's something that person will have to work on themselves. Do you know what I mean? You can't expect your partner to make you feel less insecure. You can't put that pressure on him or her to do that. You have to work on that yourself.
I hear you. But that's I also think in some ways that guard coming down slowly, gradually is okay as well.
Yes.
Because some people, I just think, you know, going back to when I was cheated on, I used to give my everything too soon. So before someone would show me their true colors or show me how much they were invested in a relationship, I'll go in there wholeheartedly. So this is me, open up, this is my big heart, I'll take care of you, I'll look after you. And it's like, these are the early days. And you know, you know, some people are, they'll take advantage of that. So they're like, okay, right, all right, he's all in. I don't even know this dude yet, but he's telling me he's all in this relationship. So let me see what I can get away with. He'll do that for me. He's gonna come in at 90%. I'll probably just give him the extra 10% to complete this relationship. I'm not gonna give him as much as he's given me, type thing. So sometimes I think it's okay to, and that's what I learned with age and experience, is give bits of it as it progresses. Start giving more when I feel that this person's in as well and invested as much. I'm gonna start investing more as well. I'm gonna give him 10% more of me, or 20% more of me, depending. And I think that's okay. I think because as I said, not everyone's deserving of that. And with time would tell when you'll see someone's true colors eventually anyway. And you know that. Yeah, exactly. You know that through their actions as the relationship goes on, that maybe this isn't quite right. Because I'm giving that, so you're not giving your all the time and feeling drained, and that you're the only one who's really invested in the relationship. So it's kind of like you're just giving when you feel like you're receiving some as well. So then you keep on opening up until you're fully there and invested along the line. And you've seen they've been in as well. They've invested as well. So I kind of like that, because that's what I do. I you know, I remember starting my relationship with my wife. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't fully all there, you know, in the beginnings. Like, we've been together for 11 years. So at the beginning, I wasn't like, oh yeah, this is me. You know, this is my heart. This is everything. Take it. And so like, I wasn't sure, because after being hurt and cheated on, you're not sure about, you know, giving your full self immediately, because you're like, is this again going to be a similar thing where someone tries to take advantage of me because of the way I am and my kindness? So you give a little every time, and it grows, and you see that you're feeling the same, and they're investing in a relationship as well. And with time, you're there and you're open, and you just, yeah, this is the whole this is me wholeheartedly, because we got to this place, rather than, oh no, I'm just trusting this someone who I don't really know, who I haven't lived with yet. You know what I mean? So, you know, those are the real, as I say, in any relationship, when you're living with someone, that's when you really find out.
100%.
She's the dishes more.
Like my mum says, see me, come live with me is two different things.
Exactly. That's when you know whether it's right or not. You can get through that. You can get through the first 6 months of living with someone and to a year, then you know it's for a lifetime. There you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Dangerous D? Is there anything that you would like to add to what we've just said?
I think going back to the whole cheating stigma, I think society and what we see, you know, exposed to us in terms of like media, film, TV, the news, the press, I think there's always that stigma attached to, going back, I think Mike's mentioned it as well, that men are just expected to cheat. Like there's that kind of association with, you know, just men. Just, you think of infidelity, it's the man. You look at a relationship, and you know, I think I mean, I've been victim to it, and I think I've been guilty of doing it to other men. Like when their relationship has broken down, we always tend to assume, okay, what did you do as a man? What did you do?
Yeah.
But we don't want to. But we assume that it's the man that's done something wrong and not the woman. And I feel like also it's just like, you know, men, contrary to what most people think, we can be quite emotional creatures. Men can be in their feelings, especially when they are in love with women, or they're in love with their partner, or they're in love with a person. That there is, you know, there's a lot of sentiment attached to it. So when a man is cheated, you know, there is a lot of emotional baggage that, you know, we get from that, you know, and there's also that vicious cycle that I don't think we really account for, because, you know, it goes around in cycles. So, you know, you could be a good man, then you get cheated on by someone else, then you cheat on somebody else. That girl is a good girl. Now she's been cheated on. Now she wants to go in her next relationship. She may see something she don't like. Then she cheats. Then, you know, it's a vicious cycle. So it's just like, you know, we all need to be careful in terms of what we're doing in our relationships, because, you know, your actions can affect that person's actions in the next relationship, to someone that's completely innocent to what, you know, has happened, transpired in your relationship. So where there's an action, there's a counter action, and it comes back full cycle.
Yeah, it's like it's contagious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's proper karma, isn't it? And
go on.
It's like healing from each space. So from moving from the next to the next, it has to be that continuous healing and shedding and changing that belief and the story you're telling yourself, because like you're saying, you're just gonna keep hurting someone that didn't even deserve it because of your past pain. And even that, I don't know, I think, is it also, do we women expect too much of you men? I think
that's a good question.
Like, is that what could lead women to cheat? Is it, because I know, and I've learned this the other day, only because I did a simple exercise. I went out with my son and I gave him money to give to someone else, and I saw that he felt really, really good doing it. And then I realized we teach our children to be takers. So when they're growing up in life, everyone is just a taker. We don't raise givers, because we're not teaching people to give. We teach, like, especially girls, When you have your dad and your dad dotes on you and your daddy's girl, he will give you everything. So when you get with your man, you expect your man to give you everything because that's what happened. And that's the same if you get a guy who's a proper mummy's boy, she does everything for him. So he goes off and expects that. And if he's not getting that, that's another reason why some people cheat, because they're looking for that mum and that father kind of person that will do all those things for them that they got from their 100%. Parents.
Yeah. And I think that's where there needs to be a balance of nurture, but also nature. Because if you do, because, you know, obviously with parenting, there's so many different types of parenting. And if you are always doing everything for your child, like giving all, and listen, it's important, parents need to give their children love. They do. You know, that's part of nurturing as a parent. But you've also got to, you know, be aware that, you know, you said, because we're conditioning them. They're young, they're little, they don't know no different. So they're going to grow up in the environment that they know. And you're right in the sense that, you know, if a dad is always giving everything, you know, to their daughter, but not telling them on how they need to be as a female, and also an example of how female should be treated, it can be a, you know, it can be a problem. And the same goes with men. If their mums are always wrapping them up in cotton wool, you know, and they grow up, they're going to think, unless they the nurture side comes into it as well. Like, look, even though I've done this, I'm your mum. Don't expect that, you know, a female needs to give you everything like I have, because there's different types of love. You know, there needs to be a middle ground. So you're absolutely, you know, you're right. But I definitely believe it's a balance of nature and nurture.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes our parents, when they give everything, when it comes to like trying to let them go, we don't want to let them go. We don't want to, you know, you're like, but they don't see that.
No, it's true.
100%.
100% true.
I'm going to summarize this. Because obviously we're running out of time. But I just want to say thank you to all three of you. You're amazing, you know, amazing guests, even though I'm Mike is the host. I'm the host today. So, but it has been an absolute pleasure.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been good.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Thanks for switching up the topic short notice.
Yeah. I know. Sorry, it's my fault.
No, listen. It worked out. It was fire.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. So thank you guys for your insight.
Thank you too.
Dangerous D, you know, it's been brilliant having you both on.
Yeah, boys.
Podcast, and I really look forward to having you both back on again.
Definitely.
And Mike, of course.
Thank you, definitely.
100%.
I'm going to pass you back over to Mike to wrap up the show.
Yeah, just to echo those words and say thank you guys for coming on the show. Much appreciated. Dangerous D, first time on the show. It was fire.
Thank
Great
you, bro.
topic as always have fun with all of you guys whenever we're conversating. So listen, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the video and comment, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you much. Thank you very much. See ya. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Take care.